If you're prone to sabotaging your health whenever you eat out, you're going to love this video because I'm going to teach you 5 tips to be healthy even when eating out and still enjoy yourself. Because I find that for a lot of us, as soon as we get an invitation to eat out, that just becomes an excuse for us to be like, I'm going to start with my health next week. Or after this event comes, I am going to then work on being healthy, or I'll get back on track after these couple of days or after this vacation. And this all or nothing thinking, because that's what this is, right? Either you are all in eating healthy or you're all out eating unhealthy. It's one of the most dangerous places to be in because life isn't all or nothing. Life is so much in the gray zone. And if things need to be perfect and only then you can be healthy, you're never going to consistently be healthy. And instead, what I want you to start seeing in this video is that even if you eat out, you can still enjoy yourself and still be incredibly healthy. You don't have to sabotage your health goals just because you got an invite for a vacation or a birthday party. And I really want you to start catching that self-talk that shows up in your head when it's time to eat out, right? Do you tell yourself like, oh, I'm going to start after this meal, or I am, this is just like one meal and then things will be better after this, or I'm just going to go on this vacation and when I come back, I'm going to get back on track. Because the truth is that you're not. You're not. Because if you can't make the decision today, right now, to take care of your health, to support yourself, you are not going to be able to be healthy long term. And that's what the level of seriousness that I want you to take this with. And really, health shouldn't be this like choice you make when or not to be healthy. Health is just something you should normally be on an everyday basis. Sometimes I think it's really crazy that we call healthy eating. Like it should be normal eating. Healthy eating is normal eating. It's not some like outright crazy thing. It should be what everyday food looks like. Why it's interesting that we need to give it this whole name of healthy eating. It should just be normal eating, right? Really wild. I want you to sit on that for a second. And really, when we live in this like all or nothing thinking pattern as well, is that either you end up like indulging completely at the event and you end up just like, feeling really upset by yourself, or then what ends up happening is that you end up being extremely restrictive and then you don't enjoy yourself at all. And so you really want to see and find that happy balance in the middle. And the tips I'm going to share with you are that happy balance in the middle. So I'm excited to like really get into it. And really, the way that I want you to think about this is you want to be bringing your standards everywhere you go. You want to be bringing your discipline everywhere you go. It's not just something you leave at home because it's inconvenient. You bring it with you. You carry it with you. And that's how you know it's really a part of you and who you are. And with that being said, I'm going to share my top 5 rules for eating out that allow me to be healthy in no matter what situation I'm in. Number 1 is prioritizing protein. So currently right now, I'm going through an extremely busy season of life. 2 of my close family members have gotten married and it's been like back-to-back wedding events. And so we just had a bunch of wedding events last week and now we have some more wedding events this week. And if you're not familiar with Indian weddings, there are tons of events. There's about like 5-6 events in a week, and it's a lot of unhealthy food options and unhealthy eating. And so I told myself like, I've really been working on cultivating strong standards for myself so that no matter where I'm at, I'm bringing health with me instead of feeling like I need to put a pause on my health for other people and situation and events happening in my life. And so what I've been doing this time around is when there's a buffet of food lined up in front of me, the first thing I look at is what protein is available. To be honest with you, I stay away from a lot of the high carbohydrate foods and I go first towards like the protein. So things like fish, things like chicken, things like beef, tofu, just anything that has a good amount of protein in it. And I make sure that there's a bunch of protein on my plate. Also, if you eat enough protein, it's going to keep you full for longer. It's going to decrease your cravings as well. And so you really want to stock up on the protein in your plate. Number 2 food group, and this is rule number 2, is make sure you're getting some sort of veggies. Now, at Indian events, there aren't always vegetables available, but when they are, I grab them. So, the other day there was an event happening and all they had was like lettuce as a salad. I made sure half my plate was like filled with lettuce and the other, there's a bunch of protein on there as well. And so this way, if lettuce is the only green that there is, that's okay because we're going to stock up on the lettuce as much as possible. Now, getting the veggies in, really important too because it's fiber for you. Vegetables have nutrients in them. And again, this is going to reduce cravings. You want to fill up on the healthy food like the proteins and the veggies so that that you don't feel like you need to binge eat on all the desserts. So if there's literally like no vegetables available where you are, stock up on the protein, because I will have literally a plate full of protein, and then I will have a handful of like carbohydrates here or there, but mostly my plate will be full of protein food and like very little carbohydrate food. Rule number 3, no seconds. No seconds at all. I don't go back for seconds. Seconds are dangerous because let's be honest, when you eat that first plate of food, you are full by the time you have it. And the only reason you're probably not full is because you're eating too fast. And so I don't go back for seconds because usually that's when the overeating tends to happen and I tend to feel so much worse afterwards. So I go in with that mindset. When I go and grab that food or that plate, I go in with the mindset that I'm not going to have any seconds. Like this is all that I'm going to eat. And so I know right now I'm kind of describing it as if you were eating like a buffet style, but you can also do the same if you're sitting at a restaurant and eating, right? When I look at choosing foods, the other day I went and had dinner with a friend. Our appetizers was like mushrooms. So we had some veggies in there. We had some calamari, and that's some, protein in there. I know it's not perfect because it's fried, whatever, but I really looked at the menu and looked at what are some veggies we can have. There was something with zucchini that we had, and what's some protein that we can have. So you can apply this same analogy and these same tips to when you're eating out at a restaurant. Another tip that I'm going to add in here that's going to align perfectly with the not going to seconds is you need to eat really slow. I want you to commit to being the slowest eater at your table. Okay, take out the portion sizes of the foods you're gonna have and commit to being the slowest eater at the table. Because what's gonna happen, you're gonna see that the people who eat the fastest are probably gonna go up for seconds and then they're gonna get overly full, and we don't want you to do that. And instead, when you commit to actually eating slowly, chewing your food, one, you're gonna digest food so much better. 80% of your digestion happens in your mouth, fun fact. And so if you can really chew your food slowly, really, savor every single bite, you're gonna digest food so much better and you're not gonna feel as bloated and as bad afterwards. And then what's also going to happen too is you're going to give your brain a moment to actually take in and be like, oh, we are full. We don't need to eat any more food. And so very important, chew your food, make a commitment to be the slowest eater at the table. And then the last tip that I have here is for dessert. Now, this is the one that usually, messes a lot of us up because let's be honest, who doesn't love sweet things? So a couple rules that I have for desserts. One is I don't eat it. I just tell myself no dessert because you don't really need dessert. Sugar doesn't have anything in it, nutritious in it, that your body actually needs. This is something that I've cultivated over time. There was a period of my life where I literally needed to eat something sweet after every single meal. And then I was like, no, I don't. I really don't need that. And so if I have the craving for sugar, something sugary or sweet afterwards, I just don't give into it. I've just trained my brain to be like, no, we just don't do that. So I'll drink some water. I'll just ignore that craving. Or I'll just be with it. Just because you have a craving doesn't mean you need to give into it at that very exact moment. And by the way, this past wedding event, at the reception, I had no dessert. And then I did have a little bit of dessert at one of the events, but I had a very small little bit of it. But most of the week, I didn't indulge in any of the desserts that were available there. And so what, you can really start to do is if you want to have that dessert, commit to just only having 3 bites of it. Because really, after you eat more of that dessert, it's like the same stuff. And you end up feeling worse afterwards, honestly. And after a little while, after a couple of bites, it's like the taste just kind of goes away, It's those first 2-3 bites that are just oh my God, so amazing. And then afterwards, it's just the taste is okay, cool. It hit my taste buds and all right. So make that commitment and set that standard for yourself. You literally, if you're going to eat out, you need to set some sort of food rules for yourself. I'm a very big proponent of people setting food rules. Obviously, if you, have dealt with some sort of eating disorder in the past, please take this information lightly and mindfully and consult your practitioner. Or if you have had very restrictive behaviors in the past, please be mindful of the information I'm sharing. But most people should have some sort of food rules because our food is just so highly addicted, highly palatable, and it's so easy to overeat it. And if you don't have any sort of food rules, it's very easy to just shove whatever's in your mouth as soon as it's in front of you, and we don't want that to happen to you. So these are essentially the 5 kind of rules that I have of eating out: prioritizing protein and veggies, eating really slowly, having only 1 to 3 bites of dessert, and no seconds, and only eating what is in front of me. And last little bit I wanted to add in is remember, when you go to these events, you're not there for the food, you're there for the people. At least I hope not, okay? And really remember what it is that you're there for to enjoy and be there with. So Commit to these rules before you go to the event. Don't just do it when you get there, and stick to it. You'll have such a more enjoyable time eating out, because let's be honest, whether it's eating out at a restaurant, whether it's eating out at like wedding events, wherever it is, when you overstuff yourself, you feel like shit. You don't feel good. And it takes away from the enjoyment of the event, because now you're just like, oh my God, can people see my bloated belly? Like, how do I look? I feel so uncomfortable. I can barely move. And that's no fun. So set new standards for yourself, commit to some of these food rules, and it will change the game for you.